Hey, hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Python for ML Enthusiast. This is class 5B and possibly class 6, brought to you by IOSD UIET KUK. So in the last class, we learned about uh, the operators in Python and indentation. So I was going to talk about indentation in today's session. Okay, so revising the operators, we have read various kinds of operator like arithmetic operators, logical operators, then we have relational operators, etc. Okay, so you can actually go to this links for reading them, and I hope you guys have practiced the last codes. Okay, and so let's move to the indentation in Python. So what indentation is basically? Indentation means space. Okay, so this is the link I have for reference purposes. It's from W3 schools. Okay, so indentation means space. Indentation is space. Okay, so in Python you have seen that there is not a syntax issue, like we do not use semicolon in Python like we used to use in C and C++, etc. So we do not need the semicolon. What we need actually is space. Okay, space bar. We can use space bar to space, or we can use tab to approximately 3 times the space. Okay, in Python, when we need to write some block, for example, if I want to write some if statement, like if a is greater than 20. So if it was C language, then I need to use these two kinds of brackets, curly brackets. But in Python, rather than using brackets, we use colon sign here, and then we enter. So you can see that a space is created here. Okay, it's created automatically in Google Collaboratory. You may have to create this. Okay, so you can have a tab space, or you can have a space, single space. So by default it uses a tab space. Okay, so this denotes that whatever statement, like this, whatever statement, these are some random statements. Okay, so whatever statement is written at this spacing, that is a tab spacing from this line. Okay, suppose there is this line, imaginary line here. So whatever statement is written here, it's considered as one block. Okay, now if I want to create a second block, I again enter a colon sign and enter space. Okay, so a second space is created, a second block is created. Now if I want to come to the last block here, like this, and if I want to exit the if statement, like this. Okay, so these were some random statements which is unnecessary. We will be seeing some codes here. Okay, so this is something that I explained. Okay, so for block 1 we use no indentation, then we use single space or single tab space, then we use 2 times the tab space, and so on. So the blocks at same indentation level are actually continuations. Okay, so the continuation of block 1 codes is this block 1 continuation that has no space, then continuation of block 2 continuation is the block 2 continuation is the continuation of block 2 with 1 tab space, and then it's block 3. Okay, so let's see what we can see here. Concept of indentation in Python. So indentation in Python refers to spaces and tabs, okay, that are used at the beginning of a statement. The statements with the same indentation belong to the same suite or same block. Okay, that's really important statement. So let me just add that to the code. Sorry. Okay. So you can see this in your notes at my GitHub repository. Okay. Yeah. So for example, so they have given this example. Let me just show you that. If a is equal to 1, print a. If b equal to 1, print b. And finally print a plus b. Okay, so you now know these operators, I guess. So these are basically relational operators that check the equivalency, that if the value of a is equal to 1, then it's true. Okay, then this part gives out a true value, and if true, then the next statement will be executed. Now you can observe this indentation here. Okay, so these two statements are at one block, print A and this statement. Then print B is third block in the according to the diagram, and then print A plus B is continuation of first block. Suppose I want to continue, sorry, this is not required. If I want to continue like this, so print A minus B. Okay, now you can relate it to the diagram. So block 1 is if A is equal to 1, then block 2 is print A, and if B is equal to 1, then block 3 is print B. Then block 2 is again continued with single tab space, it's print A minus B, and then block 1 is continued with print A plus B. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so let me just input the value input. Yeah. Okay, also if you give unnecessary spaces, it will generate an error. It's known as indentation error. So if you just read an indentation error in a command prompt, this means that you have used some unnecessary space or some wrong space basically. Okay, wall underscore, that's value underscore B. Okay, let me just run that code. It's not required. Okay, let me write value of A as 1 and value of B as 1 also. So it will print. Okay, now what did it print it? It printed 1 1. Did it printed A minus B and A plus B? Nope. Let's see what happened. First of all, let me just add backslash n. Let me run that code again. And rather than this, let me just put the values as 1 and 1. Okay. Yeah, so it printed all the values. Okay, so it printed value of A, then it again printed value of A, it printed A minus B as 0 and printed A plus B as 2. Okay, so it's really easy. So these are basically the if-else statement. So we will be getting introduced to the if-else statement today only. Okay, moving ahead with the reference. Yeah, so we just read this example. Okay, in the above code, the first and the last line of statement is related to the same suit, or as I told you, the block, because there is no indentation in front of them, there is no spacing in front of them. So after executing if statement, the Python interpreter will go to the next statement if the condition is true. Okay, and if the condition is not true, it will execute the last line of statement, that's the next command in its own suit. Okay, by default Python uses 4 spaces for indentation and it can be managed by the programmer. It's important. So tab space is approximately 3 to 4 spaces, normal spaces. Okay, so there are two kind of spaces. The first is space bar space. So it's this much space. Okay, and then there is tab space, which is approximately 3 to 4 times of the single space bar space. Okay, and tab space is by default the space. Okay, at the next level, the following statement are typed with 4 spaces, a tab in front of them, and so they are in the same suit. Okay, so print A and if B is equal to 2 are in the same block, that's block 2. Okay, and the third statement, if B is equal to 2, will be executed only when the statement if A equal to 1 is true, and that's all. That's all about indentation. Okay, so indentation is really an important concept in Python. If you observe a error named as indentation error, this means there is something wrong with your spacing. You may have additionally put up some space. Okay, let me just show you that. Like all these are comments. Let me write in next code section. Okay, so there is no code written. If I just use a tab space and then write A equal to 1 and print A. Okay, it generates this one. Okay, but in case, because this is the first statement. Okay, if it's equal to 1 like this and then tab space it generates this error known as indentation error, because this statement is actually following the up mentioned code. Okay, that's a is equal to 1, so it needs to be in the same block, or I need to use a colon. Like if it's some if statement, like if a equal to 1. Yeah, always remember that with if we use a relational operator only, we don't use any other operator. We have to use okay, we can use statement like this. Okay, we can use statement like this in which we use both relational and operator, arithmetic operator. But yeah, so finally we are using a relational operator only. Okay, so if there's no if statement, no of if statement, and we are using it like this, or no loop statement and we are using it like this, that is we are creating a block 2 unnecessarily. It will generate something called as indentation error, that is an unexpected intent. So this is a very common issue for beginners. I have been receiving a lot of messages and comments about these kind of error, that we are facing this error. So it's my suggestion that you go through your code once and check what kind of, or just compare your code with this diagram. Okay, check where you have put spaces, and if it was necessary to put space there, check that out. Okay, so let me just write this code, and it will help you know what an indentation error means. Okay, yeah, so that's done. I will be titling this class as class 6 only, because I will be covering the if else part in today's class. Okay, let me just open Geeks for Geeks for you. Okay, so I use a reference basically so that no syllabus or no part of the concept or no topic is left behind. So that's my only motive of using the references. And what can be better than Geeks for Geeks for the reference purposes? Okay, decision making in Python, that is if else, nested if else, if elif, and so on. Okay, so let me just show you the commands initially. First command is if, and when we use if, we use when we have to write a single comment, single decision, basically single decision. Like let me just mark down this, or let me just add a comment. Nope, give it. Like for example, say if a is greater than 30, or suppose just like if I am to write a program, like write a program to check if a person is a adult or not, that's all. Okay, or adult or not, or you can say is eligible to vote or not. So this basically this code actually uses a single if statement, a single decision, that's, and the decision is I have to check if the person has a age of greater than equal to 18 or not. Okay, so if his age is greater than equal to 18, he is eligible to vote, or he is an adult, otherwise he is not. Okay, so this is a single decision, single yes or no decision. So let me just write a simple code for you. So age is equal to int input. So if you have read the typecasting series, if you have seen the typecasting lectures, you know this int, why is it being used. Okay, if you don't know it, you can check the typecasting. So it's basically used to make sure that the input is integer. Enter the age. Okay, now if age is greater than equal to 18, so that's how you write the greater than equal to sign, and I'm comparing it to number 18. Now the 18 is mentioned for India only. It may vary as 19 or 20 or 21 and so on, based on different countries. Then you use a colon sign. Okay, this is a colon. You enter, and you can see an indentation space again, because I'm creating a new block inside if. So if age is greater than equal to 18, print eligible sorry, eligible to vote. Okay, now I will be needing a else statement here to print not eligible to vote, but let me just end it up here only. Okay, so let me just enter that. So if there is something that is to be printed, it's only eligible to vote. Okay, so let me just enter the age as 14, and you will see that no action is taken. Let me just run that again and enter the age of 19, and it will say, yeah, eligible to vote. A single decision. Okay, if age is greater than equal to 18. A single decision and a single result, like this one. Okay, and when we use the second statement is if-else pair. If-else pair, that's again a single decision but two results. Okay, so again the same program, but this time I will be using else, print not eligible. Okay, now you can see that I have used else in the block 1 only without indentation. Okay, so every else command should be you can say preceded by if command. Okay, or every if command which contains the else, then else should succeed the if command. Okay, so for every else command there should be a if command, because if you don't use a if command like this, you will get an error. Okay, so it's a syntax error. Okay, moreover, if you use a if command and you use a wrong indentation like this, so I'm purposefully writing a wrong indentation, again invalid syntax. Why? Because this else is in block 2 and there is no if statement in block 2. Okay, so you have to go back, and can you run it now? Yes, you can. Observe that this print statement and this print statement have no connection. They are not in the same suite or not in the same block, so you can actually vary their indentation level also. So let me just enter the age like 20. So it says eligible to vote. Let me just run that again, and I write 14 and it says not eligible to vote. Okay, so it's very simple. That is a single decision of being adult or not being adult. This is known as the decision statement, but two results. Now multiple decision, multiple commands, multiple results. Then we use the if-Elif pair. Okay, if-Elif, or you can say if-Elif-else pair. Okay, same code but just some changes. Write a program to check if a person is adult or child or teen. So basically I have two or more decisions. Okay, so I enter the age again. If age is greater than equal to 18, adult. Elif. Elif is the short form for else if basically. So let me just write that down. Elif is else if, which means if not if. Okay, so it's actually easier to understand. I don't think there is some requirement to clarify what else if means. So if not if, then else if. Okay, so elif also is succeeded by a decision statement like age. Okay, so if age is greater than equal to 18, then it's an adult. If say for example 13 is greater than age, 13 is less than age and age is less than 18, so that this means that age is between 13 to 18 years, then print teen. Else, or you can use multiple if elif statement also. Okay, elif or old, let's say old. Okay, so for old the criteria can be as if age is greater than 18 years, then the person can be called as old. Okay, so 18 is less than equal to age less than 60, then the person is adult. Elif 60 is less than age or age is greater than 60, both means the same, age is greater than equal to 60, then print old. Now you can see that all print statements are taken at a different indentation level because they have nothing to do with the previous print statement. Okay, it's just that one indentation level define one unique block. Okay, so no indentation defines if elif block, then this is print adult, printing, print old, and so on. Okay, otherwise the last case, that's done with else. Let's just, okay, print child. That's all. I hope you have understand this code. It's really simple. So if you haven't understand the code or you have some problem with the code, you can just leave your queries in the comment section. Okay, but it's really simple to understand. I have already told about in the indentation. What's important is that if, elif, and else, they all have the same indentation level, and the indentation level of print are kind of mutually exclusive. They do not depend on each other. Okay, so this indentation level does not depend on this indentation level because they have different suits or different blocks. Okay, so let me run that. It says in okay, colon sign. Let's enter some age. Say for example, if we want to check this statement if it's working or not, let me just add 70. Old. Okay, so it's working. Okay, it's working perfectly. So I think that's all for today. We have discussed if elif else statement. Let me just go to the reference again. So we have discussed if else if elif statement and so on. We have left with nested if. So we will be covering it in the next class, and we can call this as 5B/6A, and I have discussed the indentation and basic if-else statement. Okay, we will be coming back to if-else according to this reference in the next class. We will be discovering this flowchart, what's flowchart and how we use it. Okay, one thing, important thing is that if always work with the boolean. Okay, so this basically returns a boolean as I discussed in the last class. So that's all for today, guys. Subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon for more videos, experiment with the codes, practice the codes, and check my this GitHub repository for all the notes here, and like the video, share the video with your friends. Do go through the mentioned reference links. Okay, try to read as much as possible, try to code as much as possible, and I will see you in the next video. So thank you for your time.